Hi everyone. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm finally back. My first video of 2017, and I just really wanted to put out something different, talk about something that is really hard for me to talk about. And I don't know, I just feel like I've been in a funk lately. I didn't really feel like putting on any makeup, doing my hair. I haven't written any new poems in a while, and that's really been bothering me, but I'm trying to get back out there. Anyways, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about something very personal. I was in a abusive relationship from about my whole entire high school career, I guess. So from freshman year up until mid junior year. It wasn't those domestic violence kind of relationships. It kind of built up to that physical point, but at first, it would just happen gradually. It's not like he was abusive and I was just like, I love him, so let me stay. It was not that simple. And for the sake of this video, let's just call him Robert. So me and Robert were together for about 4.5 years. My first love, my first everything really. And at first I didn't see it. I knew it was there, I just didn't see it, if that makes sense. The first couple of years it was just, all honeymoon phase, all happy and butterflies, and we were great together. What I thought was great at that time actually wasn't that great now when you think about it, but I was young, so that accounts for a lot of the stupid mistakes that I made, but I learned a lot from it. We were together throughout high school. We weren't in the same high school. I went to Lehman High School. He went to another high school. And we kind of met by accident. That was back when MySpace was the thing. And we were just interacting. And I thought I was speaking to someone else. I thought I was speaking to someone that I knew from middle school. And I was getting in contact with them, trying to gain friends on MySpace. But it turned out it was a completely different person. It was him. We decided to continue being friends because why not? And from there it just kind of built. At that time I was in another relationship and me and him were just friends. But the relationship I was in is actually another story time coming for you guys. But that relationship didn't work out. Me and that person broke up. Gradually over time, me and Robert were speaking. He was just trying to help me out through things, and we became really close, and then we just decided to give it a shot, be in a relationship and see where it goes. I guess back then being so young, you didn't really go on dates. We would hang out a lot. We would hang out really frequently due to the fact that we lived really, really close to each other. We still do, but yeah. And that's basically what we did. My best friend at the time, she started going out with his best friend, so it became kind of like a couples thing. But that's another completely different story time as well, because that turned into like competing couples. And yeah, but anyways, me and Robert were fine for a while, but then he started getting into the bad crowd. That's when you're exposed to like marijuana and drinking, and like the gangs were a thing, and it was just a lot of that being contained in where we live, and it just like it took over him, I guess. And yeah, he started changing and just being different. And I remember the first time we broke up, I was on my way to take my first Regents of high school. I was going with my friends. Me and him were talking, was wishing me good luck and whatever the case may be. And then out of nowhere, he was just like, I want to take a break. And I'm just like, we were fine 2 seconds ago. What happened? What's up? What's going on? And he was just like, I can't do this right now. I don't want to be with you right now. I just want to take a break. Blah, blah, blah. And we took a break. I spent my whole regents arguing with him and taking my test. I don't know how I passed, but I did. And that's what happened then. And then he came back to me in September. We got back together, and from there we were fine again. He started meeting a lot of my friends. I started meeting a lot of his friends. And he was very jealous. He was the very jealous type. And I get along with people. I'm a people's person. I'm an introvert, so I keep to myself. But when I have to socialize, I socialize. And he was just really jealous. And he thought that his friends wanted me, so then I'm gonna, want them back, and blah blah blah. And that's really when it really began, when his jealousy started coming out, and all this animosity. And he would compliment me through insults, and like he was like that kind of like mean boyfriend, but like he would just try to play it off in a cute way. And I'm blindly in love, but I didn't think much of it, so I just went along with it. I knew him for a while now, so I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was abuse. I didn't think someone was mentally abusing me. So I just let it continue. And then the more jealousy started getting, the worse it got. And we would just get into these full-blown arguments where, like, when females are mad, we say some crazy things too. But I know I didn't mean them that much. But he would start insulting me and threatening me and through these arguments. But then, once you kiss and make up, you go back to the honeymoon phase and you don't think nothing of it. You don't think back to that argument you had. So I just kept moving from there. And in high school, I realized that kept me really apart from meeting people in high school, like right away. Because I did have friends, but I didn't really try to be too close to them, because I knew that I was focused on my relationship. And I would leave school and then I would go hang out with Robert, or I would cut classes and go meet up with him and be with him. I would do this to do that for him. It took a lot out of me, and I didn't realize that until like we had a really bad breakup. And I don't know, I realized that he was just taking pieces of me slowly, and how I was changing myself to satisfy someone that wasn't really giving me anything in return. Okay, so now it's sophomore year, mid-sophomore year, I want to say, and this is when the big breakup happened. Because of all his jealousy and everything that he was doing, it made me suspicious. It made me think twice about everything he was doing. So I started getting jealous, and I started thinking that he wanted to be with my friends just because of the way he would interact and he would speak, and he's very flirtatious. And I just knew him at this point, so I knew some people didn't understand certain things that he would say and stuff like that, but I knew how he meant it. So he said something to one of my friends once, and it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I confronted him about it, and then it just blew up into this whole huge argument, and we just broke up. After that point, I wasn't speaking to him, he wasn't speaking to me. I was just very closed off, and I just shut down on myself, because when you think and you feel like you love someone so much, and then something like that happens, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to feel. And since I'm an introvert, instead of externalizing that and reaching out to people and reaching out to my friends, I internalized everything. I blamed myself for a lot of things. I really didn't understand what was going on, because I'm still a kid, still young, don't understand the concept of love, only what I see in movies and what I think it is and what I read. And I just shut down basically. I got depressed, and he would still contact me. So a couple months go by, he would just contact me and flirt and like do what guys do at that age where their hormones are running. So they're trying to just, try to slip it in that they want to be with you, but they don't. They just want to be sexually active for the sake of saying that they're sexually active. And, I'm in love, so I buy it, but not buy in the way like, oh, he loves me, I'm going to have sex with him. I buy it in the way like, oh, he loves me the way that I love him, so maybe we could still work, we could still be together. We get back together, and it's just not the same. I'm the type of person that it's not about changing, but I grow from my experiences. Something happens to me, I learn from it, I grow from it. And I wasn't the same person he was dating back in freshman year. Now, about to be sophomore year, junior year, we're into that transition. I'm not the same person, but he still is. So he's still running his game and being all this lovey-dovey person just to get things from me. And I think I love him, so I just try to make him happy, try to satisfy him, but I know it's just not the same. I just feel that disconnection. But I think I love him, so I'm still with him. And he was just at this point, it wasn't even insulting me to be an asshole, but he would just be mean and rude, and he was still jealous, and he would try to get me jealous on purpose, and it was just toxic. At this point, the relationship was toxic. It wasn't physical like he was beating me. It was physical, and he would hug me too tight. He would pull me aside. He would be controlling. I don't think that's a word, but I'm gonna go with that. And he would just manipulate me. He would manipulate the hell out of me just to get what he wanted. And I think I love him. I use love as an excuse, so I go along with it. I'm blind to it. I don't see it. I ignore it, whatever the case may be. I was dumb and young and stupid in love. Okay, so at this point, I am a junior in high school. People usually had lunch like fourth, fifth period. I had lunch fifth, sixth period, I want to say. And there's only 8 periods in a day. So that day, I believe I left during lunchtime, so 6th period, and I went to go hang out with Robert. And we were hanging out. We were at his house. We were just hanging out, listening to music, talking, doing whatever we were doing. And then we were gonna go to the movies, I believe, with I knew him. He was my friend from middle school, but we just weren't that close. But he was also Robert's friend as well. So we were going to go to the movies with him and his girlfriend, and they lived in the same building. So I stayed outside in the hallway, and he went to go get his friend, and he left. We were listening to music, and he took the iPod and he just went to go get his friend. And I'm just standing there. An hour passes by and I'm just standing there. So I call him, I text him, no answer. But I didn't really have to do that too much to realize that he was gone. He just left. He wasn't going to come back. He just left. Not like he got picked up by the cops or anything like that. He just left me there. Basically, he stole my iPod. After he stole my iPod, I went back to school to meet up with my friends and tell them what happened and if I should get it back. What should I do? Because he just disappeared. He literally just disappeared. Wasn't contacting me, wasn't on any social media or anything. He was just gone. Robert was gone. So that happened, and obviously we're broken up at this point. He disappeared. I'm not in a relationship anymore, and that was just like a wake-up call for me, because if you love someone, if you really love someone, no matter how old you are, I feel like that we know some establishment of love because of our friends and families. And if you love someone, you just do not do something like that to them. And I repeatedly just kept getting hurt by someone that's supposed to care about me and that I cared about. So why was I allowing myself to accept such behavior when it really isn't what I actually thought it was? So through the process of trying to contact him to get my iPod and all of this other crazy stuff, in the midst of all that, he was insulting me and just calling me all these different types of names and just being nasty. In the midst of all that, it was just, he started to threaten me and started to threaten my life and started to really not scare me, but show me how abusive he's actually been to me that I didn't care to notice. Because when you think abusive relationships, you think abuse. I'm being beaten, I'm being hurt. But there's so many different levels, and I was emotionally abused because he took advantage of me and my emotions and how I felt about him and manipulated me. I was abused mentally to think that he was the best thing that ever happened to me, when in reality, I was the best thing that happened to him, because he still contacts me, and he has a child, and he has countless other women, and he still contacts me. But I do not contact him back. I left just in time for it to not become domestic violence, and I'm glad I have the friends that I have today, because they were part of the reason why I realized that I needed to get out of that situation, why I was in a toxic relationship that I didn't need to be, because I was so young and I don't know what love is yet. So thinking I was in love with him was, I don't know, I guess it was an experience I had to go through. But my advice would be that if you feel like there's any kind of triggers or any kind of like intuition that something is just off and something's wrong, it usually is. I trust my instincts. I trust my gut feelings. And if I feel like something's wrong, usually something is wrong. It may not be exactly what you think. It may be something else. It may be worse. You just never know. But trust your gut feeling and go with it, because even the little things can blow up to be big things. So even thinking that his insults didn't mean anything that manifested into him threatening me and threatening my life, and that was something big. Now there are boyfriends that are just mean, like whatever, but there are some that have that violence attached to that meaning, and you owe it to yourself to explore that and not use love as an excuse to keep you from leaving that toxic situation. Because then there are those people that are controlling and won't let you leave them and will do whatever it takes to have you, and that's a whole nother level, and that's scary. I'm glad that I left before it got to that point, but there are other people that aren't as fortunate as I am. And it's just important to realize how beautiful and how important you are, and that you don't need to validate yourself by someone else's means. And it's important to know that you can reach out for help. I kept everything inside until it just blew up. Sometimes it's important to talk to other people, or just reach out to someone that you think can be unbiased about, the person that you're with, because we choose to see the best in people, but sometimes we just need that outside view and outside eye that will help us realize that they're not who we think they are, and things do get better for us. I'm happy now. I really am. And it took me a while to get to this point of being happy with myself. Like, I love myself. I really do. And I wish every woman in the world will feel that kind of love for themselves. It just takes a while to get to that point. I hope you guys were able to take something from my experience or relate in some kind of way. If you can relate, comment down below. Let me know what your experience is. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I would really appreciate the feedback. I'm trying to get back to my videos and get more inspired, but can't force it. And I'll see you guys at the next upload.